welcome to Art Talk number 2 of AIM Dance Summerfest 2025. I am here with Abby Jones and Alfonso Cervera. And what is unique about these two individuals is that they are actually here working with the AIM Dance Company. So in 4 days, we have choreographed 2 brand new dances. Yes, yes. High fives for everybody. So let's start with maybe talking a little bit about yourself. Where are you from? And how did you get here to us on this stage?
Yeah, I'm originally from Greenwood, Indiana. I now live in Columbus, Ohio. I graduated from Indiana University in 2023, got my BFA in dance there. I live in Columbus now, and I dance with a company called Whirlwind. And I've been there for 2 years. I love it. It's been great, but I'm at a place now where I'm wanting to apply for grad school, and I'm just trying to get my work out there and kind of figure out my voice and why I'm making what I'm making.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Abby.
Hi, once again, my name is Alfonso Cervera, but I go by Fonzie for short. I'm currently an assistant professor at Ohio State University, and so I've been performing and teaching for like 10 years or more now. And I think for me, what's been kind of at like the cusp of like this like career right now is kind of how do you bring awareness and attention, I think, to Latinx forms or Mexicanidad in general, and how do we see that in contemporary dance, and how do we see that on a concert stage a bit more? So I'm originally from California, so a lot of the work that I do has this question of like, what does it mean to be Mexican American, essentially? And so I have a collective out there as well, and I do solo work as well that kind of has this conversation back and forth for me. And I got here because I was invited. I mean, I applied, but I was invited. But similar, I found it through social media and just researching and seeing other people that had choreographed as well. I was just like, oh, this looks like an opportunity that maybe I'll get in. And then I got in.
And
now
we're
I'm
so
here.
glad that you did. And we're so glad that you're here. So since you have the mic, let's go ahead and speak to your concept and the work that you worked with the dancers on, kind of the idea behind it and what led you to that.
Yeah, I think just this past summer, my collective, Primera Generación Dance Collective, we just performed our evening-length work called Nostalgia Pop or Nostalgic Pop. We premiered that in Los Angeles, and there's one specific section that really spoke to me, and the section is kind of talking about, or the work in general is talking about how we grew up in the 90s listening to Latin pop culture, but also the complications that sometimes what you see on screen are just lighter skin, Latin representing people who dye their hair blonde. So kind of talking about the inner racisms that like Mexico has and the expectations on our bodies and the privileges that some of us have being lighter skin like myself. And so for me, I took one section that's just what we call like the club queer nightlife dancing section. And I think I've been in a place where I'm kind of tired of making brand new work all the time. And so I took this opportunity to make more of a homage or an offering back to my colleagues of just like, hey, I really enjoy dancing with you. And this specific moment was really important for me when I danced with you. So I wanted to create a response to that to share with them at the end. So I kind of introduced that to the dancers, and I wanted them to experience what does it feel like to have these echoings and this like nightlife. What is their nightlife? What does that look like? What does it feel like? And how do you get down while still doing all this like Eurocentric dancing? But then can you also drop it like it's hot? You know, so it's this weird mixture for me. Like because how do we bring those aesthetics to the stage as well? So yeah,
Absolutely. You, Abby?
I had this idea of before you leave the world, like there's this thing that can happen where your life kind of flashes before your eyes. And I thought it would be a really cool concept to try to put movement to. So I wanted to create this experience on stage with the dancers that existed in like the specific moment in time where I came in and set the work on them. And I didn't really have a huge plan when I said it. I kind of like to work with the group that I have because I didn't know who I was working with when I got here.
Strangers.
Yeah, I had no idea who I was going to be working with, so I kind of organically wanted to create a piece that meant something to them. And I think the way I like to create, I use life experiences, and I want to be able to make something that anyone in the audience or anyone watching can relate to. Because yeah, life is just full of all kinds of stuff. So I I hope that somebody watching will be able to pull something from it that
Absolutely.
yeah they'll be able to take with them.
So you spoke a little bit about the dancers and in that process and something that they could kind of invest into. What did that look like in the rehearsal process?
Yeah, the very first day, I kind of just sat down with them and talked to them, and I was like, "Hey, here's my idea. Like, how do you feel? Like, can you relate? Is it making sense?" Because I wanted to make sure that we were all on the same page. As I was creating. We kind of just talked about what we've all kind of experienced, what they're able to bring to the piece. Yeah.
And either one of you can answer this. What did they bring to the piece? Is there a moment in the work that you felt was significantly representative of the dancers in that space and time? I mean, and if not, it's okay. But
I wouldn't say specifically, but I found with the group that I worked with, it was helpful that if something felt weird or like not like the hand placement was different or like in a lift, they were like communicating with me that hey, like can we do this? Can we do this? And I like being in spaces where the people I'm working with are able to give me feedback on like what I'm giving them because it might not feel great to them. So I wanted it to feel good on them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll echo what you just said. I think it's been a very fruitful experience to be in a space where collaboration is at play. And I think something that's difficult to find with some dancers where they're like, just tell me what to do. And it's like, yeah, but like, does it feel good? Like, are you responding to it? But I think for this work, it was nice to see their personality slowly come out over time, especially when it was like certain club sections. Because when we first met, it was everyone was really quiet. We don't know each other. So, oh, okay, I'm just gonna do the thing. And then slowly over time, like you would see little daggers that they would throw at each other. I'm just like, oh, okay, I see the relationships that are happening.
Yes.
So I think that was really nice because then it allowed me to also show like my sarcasm and to be like, oh yeah, like I can do that too. So yeah, I think that was a great experience with them.
Now, my question for you, because we actually had this conversation before you accepted the residency, because we're talking about your culture and your heritage and your life experiences, and the dancers in the company don't necessarily share that experience with you. And so, how do we translate that so that you can get the most authentic representation of your thoughts and ideas?
Yeah, I think for me, having taught in institutions, right, that's always a question, right? And I think it's a practice, right? I think about it, I think on two levels. One level is how do I use my lived experience to offer you a different experience, right? Not in terms of appropriating or anything like that, but how do we take this world and retranslate it for yourself that makes sense in some capacity? And then secondly, I always, especially when it comes with dealing with other forms like folklorico or other Afro-Latin forms, I always tell I'm not trying to make you this, but rather how can this change your body in a different way? How do you embody these rhythms and these aesthetics in a different way that still feels good to you and authentic to who you are as a person, so that the work feels validated for you, not for me. And I think that's the difference. Even though this was a response to it, for me it was more like I'm using these techniques to help you grow as an individual, to you to build a world rather than building, because I can build that world for myself that needs to be super Mexican or something like that. Like I'm like, oh, now I can really dive deep, but it's just different. If that makes sense in any
Yes,
way. Yeah.
absolutely. You both commented on or in relationship to the idea of for someone else, right? So you want the audience to get something out of this, to be able to connect to that, giving the dancers a different experience, exposing. So, what is it that you particularly take away? Because what I'm hearing is an offering. What I'm hearing is that we're coming into the space and we're going to give an offering, whether it be to the dancers or to the audience, a cyclical relationship. But what is it that comes back? If this is a cyclical relationship, then what are you receiving out of this offering that you are essentially giving to others? Thank you.
Yeah, I feel like for me, when I have an idea in my head and I'm able to visualize it appear and then I give it and it comes to life like itself, I think that for me is like validation enough that I'm like, okay, this is where I want to go, this is what I want to do. And yeah, I think just the relationships that I was able to create in like the 5 days I was here with them is definitely something that makes the whole process super special. Yeah.
Yeah, similar. Maybe it's because we're from Ohio. It's good. It's good.
We knew Ohio was going to come in the conversation. We'll swing back to it.
No, I was gonna say similarly. I think for me, process is super important, and I think that's what I gravitate to the most. But also, I think performance as practice. Like when I see them dance, it's informing me also of like, oh, like possibilities of how else can happen. Because once you have the lights and the stage and the audience, like that's really informative. So I think for me, I'm just like, oh, like I can see where other things can be crafted if I had more time, right? But I think that's kind of like the full circle for me every time I do something like this. So,
Yeah. I mean, it is a little ironic that we have two guests here
So crazy.
the same week, and you're both from out of state, but the same out of state. So, but you don't know each other.
well, I taught for Whirlwind one time and we met. Yeah, and then she hit me up, and then she wants to come to OSU,
Yeah.
and I teach there.
Connections. No, but that's essentially what this is all about. This is why we do festivals. I mean, yes, to present our work or create work, but I think for me and part of my reason for establishing this festival is to bring artists together, to this collective, this community, this sharing of thoughts, sharing of ideas, learning from one another, taking classes, being in rehearsal. Yeah, so commenting on that just a little bit, if we can, Professor.
I thought you were commenting that we're both crossed.
Yeah. Professor, future graduate student in two completely different spaces and places in your life, but sharing a very similar experience. Do we have any comments or reflections on that?
Yeah, I just think it's really cool. I feel like I'm pretty early in my like dance artist like career of things, and figuring it out is less scary when you're able to meet people like through whatever you're doing. It makes it feel a little less overwhelming, and I feel like I can see like a future because I'm able to talk to people that have been exactly where I've been.
Yeah, that's really incredible. Seasoned artist.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a true believer that you meet people for a reason. There's something about, I think for me, energy that really speaks, and I think I mean when we first met too, I was just like, oh, okay, and then we're here again, right? So I think, and we both have green eyes too. So I just.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, so I mean, I think yeah, I think I'm energetically drawn to people like that, or just in spaces, and I feel like this particular residency or opportunity, I think, has crafted something special to meet with the dancers, to meet you guys, and everyone else who has shown work as well. So yeah.
Yes, thank you so much. Do you have any final thoughts or reflections on your experience with the company? Or your time here at the festival or in Texas?
Yeah. I'll say I was like really nervous before I came because it's the first time I'm ever doing something like this.
Yes.
And it's been nothing but amazing. I've like really enjoyed my time being here, and everybody's been so supportive and so great. And I don't know, it's just been everything I could have imagined and more. So
Yeah, because we forgot to mention, Abby, that you are actually one of the Emerging Choreographer Fellows. To receive the fellowship to come in. That's a big deal, in my opinion. I think it's a really big deal. Out of 74 applicants, I'm just gonna keep throwing that out there. Out of 74 applicants, yes, girl.
yay! Yeah, it's just been really good, and I'm encouraged to keep putting my things out there and putting myself out there because it's scary, and I was like, I'm scared. Like I don't know how this is gonna go. So it's been really really great. Yeah.
Yeah, I think once again I'm always like similar. Yeah. I think you guys have been amazing. I think to step into a place where you're like, hey, you have a week to make something. Um, Never knowing how that's actually gonna go, right? Like, what are the possibilities? What can I really do? Do I have permission to do things? And I think you guys are super open to everything. Have been amazing hosts, and that shows, I think, in the dancers when that you're working with people and they're just like, oh yeah, like what I can do. Like, what do you need? What do you want? And I think that is a reflection of you guys and how the festival holds itself. So yeah, I think that's what I would say. And thank you for that. And thank you for the invitation. So.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank you so much for joining us for this Art Talk. And I am honored to present your work on the company this weekend and moving forward. Thank you.